What's good? Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
The Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis doesn't happen without you, so please subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show with my brother, BD Baron Davis. Before we get into this episode, make sure to subscribe to the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis so you don't miss any episodes.
Follow the show on Twitter. That's at Draymond Show, so you don't miss any of our announcements. In today's episode, we'll discuss Klay's return to Golden State, the 4-1 road record, fake handshakes, and which team needs to be in panic mode. Klay return, it was a big hype around Klay. The Warriors gave everybody in attendance a captain's hat for Klay's return. I think that was a great tribute video, which he well deserved. But y'all got the dub, right? Steph got hot in the fourth. I know you and Klay and like, man, let's kick that off. What was that like?
Man, Steph was on 10 the whole time. And you knew it right away when they tried to post him up, very first play, and he fouled Klay. And that's one of the ones where, like, he knew it right away that it was a bad foul. He didn't care. He didn't think anything of it. He was so overzealous to get the stop. And so, and so that play, like, all right, it's a little, you know what I'm saying? It's a little testy. The very next play, they try to run the same play again. And my man's in the corner. So I try to bump him out to Najee Marshall, like, yo, bump, I'm here. So I can switch and guard the post. He totally ignored me. Hey, so I run all the way over there to bump him out.
He didn't get the script.
I have to run all the way back to the other side of the paint to guard my man because he won't bump out. And sure enough, he get the next couple stops. And he dialed in, man. And I knew, I knew he'd be dialed in. I'm going to keep it G with you. I watched Klay's interview leading up to it, all of them. I read all the quotes. I watched any interview I could find. And I watched Steph interviews leading up to it. Now, mind you, when they asked me the other day at OKC, I totally ignored the question. I'm like, we got an NBA Cup game.
Yeah.
And that's what Thursday is about. I mean, not Thursday. That's what whatever day of the week it
Monday.
was.
Monday, Tuesday.
It's the NBA
Wednesday.
season. It's Groundhog Day.
The next game.
Absolutely. And so I'm like, that's what it is. And I completely ignored the question.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw Steph's answer. And I saw Klay's answer. And then I saw Steph's answer. And it was a little sentimental. And I'm like, all right. And then I see Steph speak on somewhere different. And it was a little more sentimental. And I go look at Klay stuff and I'm like, all right. So finally, yesterday morning, I text Steph. And I text him like, hey, listen here, big dog. I need you to be locked in. Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you need to do, if that's watch this tribute video, before we actually see it go up on the board, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that your emotions are where they need to be. So we dialed in. I said, and I'm gonna do the same. And so I hit double R, Raymond Ritter, and I said, Ray, I need to see that tribute video. And Ray sent it to me. And I watched the tribute video and I was like, all right. So I got it out.
Yeah.
And Steph got it. So by the time Steph come in the game last night, he pissed. I didn't call. As soon as I texted him, he called me right away. So I didn't try to stir the pot a little bit, baby. I'm stirring the pot. Ain't no, oh, my splash brother. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm stirring the pot.
We the ops.
Hey, so I pissed Steph off. He like, yeah. I talked to Klay last night about, he was like, because Steph was supposed to speak before the game. He like, yeah, I called Raymond and told him I'm not speaking. Like, I just need to lock in on the game, so I ain't speaking. And I talked to Klay about it. Tried to check in with Klay on something else, and Klay ghosted him. So he got pissed. And here we go.
Here we go. That's why he was on 10. That's why
he
at the
was
end of
turned
the game,
like that.
ooh, hey, bro, that end of the game, that was almost like the Olympic shot. You feel me?
Man,
Like he
what?
was
Like,
on, even after the game, after y'all shook hands, it was like, what was that feeling like? Because, it's so much emotions, bro. That, Klay
man,
is legacy brother, almighty, you know what I mean? Hall of
absolutely.
Famer. And that y'all connection, you know what I mean? That's the first
Mhm.
time, we've been able to see the not connection. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy? Steph said to me right away, he was like, yo, we had Andre when he left and he came back, and like, KD's kind of never really materialized. Like, it was so many
Mhm.
years in between him playing, actually coming back and play here from when he left, that it was kind of never really, that. He was like, but we ain't had nothing like this.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So that moment, bro, it was such an incredible feeling because we've done special things together, and Klay included. Like, there's none of
right,
this without Klay. It's crazy
right.
because I was talking to Trav last night, and Trav was like, yo, you and Steph was locked in so crazy. He was like, but it's nuts because Klay was locked in too. He said,
Yeah.
and when I saw how all three of y'all were able to lock in on that game,
That's how y'all
he
know
said,
how y'all won that
he
championship,
said
bro.
it makes so
Yeah.
much sense. He said
It
these
makes so
people
much
had to
sense.
deal with three of y'all like that.
Yeah, yeah,
He said
yeah.
it makes so much sense when I watch how
Hmm.
all three of y'all was locked
It's
in.
levels to it.
Absolutely. And saying that, so knowing that and understanding that, like, the night couldn't have gone better and it couldn't have been a better feeling for us. It's us two still holding it down,
Yep.
still holding the fort
Oh,
down, still starting
geez.
to do
Holding the
special
block
things.
down.
You know what I'm saying? And to know, like, hey, he ain't with us no more. That felt good. And so, like I said, the night could not have gone any better. When you talk about NBA script writers, as the
Right,
people say on,
right.
on Twitter and
No, that
Instagram,
was perfect setup.
that script, Klay Thompson played great,
Great.
incredible, and they lost. That's
Yep.
that's how we needed the night to go.
that's
And
that's
so
how the
when
script
when when
needed to
Steph
go.
had those moments though, when he like locked into the moment and he
It
get
do
to talking
something.
his shit.
He gonna start boop. He gonna start because Steph came out talking shit.
Hey,
Then
from the
Clay hit
gate.
him with the shimmy. Then
It
Clay
was
caught fire.
trash.
And then you see Steph over there, he hot. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know, and then and back to the intensity, like Clay's intensity up Dallas level. I don't even
absolutely.
think the Mavericks seen something like that. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
like watching how you and Steph were on this side, Moody got off. You know what I mean? Moody was balling. Buddy was balling. Everybody,
Melt was balling.
Melton was balling. Every Looney played big. You feel what I'm
9
saying? Like,
offensive rebounds in
come on,
14
dude.
minutes is
Come
crazy.
on, dude. Come on, dude.
That's
That's the
insane,
UCLA
DB.
Bruin right there.
Yes,
And then
Lord.
my dog, defensive player of the year. We on that track. Let's talk about these stats: 11.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Even Steph, he talked about it after the game. He said, "Man, you put on a master class on the defensive end." I would agree to that, especially the block on Daniel Gafford that saved a big shot. You know what I mean? You was the plug. You know what I mean? You
Mhm,
was the plug
mhm.
all night. Man, just talk about I wanna like what was it? You know what I mean? Like you starting to look and feel young again, bro.
Hey,
What
bro,
is it?
I feel incredible, bro. I'm in the best shape I've been in years. I'm as focused as I've
Mm-hmm.
been in years. Like, I'm so dialed in on these moments, man. Like, just enjoying playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yep.
enjoying going
Yep.
out there and grinding, knowing that we've been counted out. We the underdogs. Like, it feel good to be the underdog again.
Yeah.
My whole
Yeah.
life I was the underdog. Being all this high and mighty shit ain't what I'm
Yeah.
accustomed to. Like, I've been an underdog my whole life, and so just being back in that role Like, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? I've been in that space. I feel that. I'm locked in. And, I had to have a conversation with myself this summer. Just, last couple of years, I've been kind of like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the commentating stuff is around the corner. Like, I want to transition into some of that as I'm done.
Yeah.
And, you start looking at all, and I'm like, man, I start focusing so much on that stuff.
Yep.
To where basketball is kind of almost put on the back burner. I flipped that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this summer I'm locked in, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if it's 1 year, if it's 2 years, if it's 3 years, if it's
All the
5.
way in.
I don't know, but I actually don't care.
Right.
What I do know is whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, I will be in tip-top shape for each and every last one of them. And I'm going to be dialed in on the task at hand and enjoying this game that we've been playing since kids.
Totally.
For this opportunity that we wanted since kids.
Yep.
That's where my mind is. And so to be like, I got goals, but I really want that defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like CP being here last year and having 10 all defense teams and like 8 first team. I'm like, dang, man, I still got more to do. You know, I still got more to get. And and that's how I'm feeling, bro. I'm locked in. And so, to get that block on Gafford in that moment, it was literally very reminiscent of Kyrie's drive, and Kyrie had to drop off to him last year.
Yeah.
Same exact play. This time it was Luka got to drop off. Come on. Like, but them the plays where down the stretch, Steph making them shots, like that's what he do. Me making them plays, that's what I do. Like,
thank you.
Like that, I gotta do my part on that side so that he can do his part on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with it, bro.
Man, you can just tell it's a different mentality. You know what I mean? And then just even talking how we talk every day, it's like you choosing to make that a moment with Klay, right? That's what you need. You choosing to make that a Boston moment, the OKC moment. Like, it's almost like you re-energize and you plan like, shit, man, if this is my last game, they're going to get Draymond Green. They're going to get the best version of Draymond Green that the league's seen. And that is what the team needs, bro. That is like, and the points. You feel what I'm saying? You know how I am about these points. I like the 11. You feel we got to get them points too. You feel me? But it was a big.
Defenses play me a totally different way.
They are. Yeah.
Like they're. I can tell by the way they guard me. They're accounting for that now. It ain't just like, oh, he make it. They're now like, oh,
they got to get there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because you getting shots in rhythm, and it's in offensive rhythm. It's an offensive flow. You know what I mean? And so them 6 assists, you know what I mean? That's another 12 points, 18 points, depending on how many threes. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I like the aggression because now, like, you a playmaker, dog. Always.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
You always been a playmaker. So when you out there and I see you doing that and looking for your shot and making plays, I'm like, okay, we gonna have a good night. We in good company.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's how I feel. That's where we at.
The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's cool. Official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday, playing for the right to advance in a single elimination in-season tourney. It was great last year, culminating in the NBA Cup championship in Vegas. First time? Here's something special. New DraftKings customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Score big. Use the code Colin. So you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Please use the code Colin. New customers get $150 in bonus bets, betting just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
And then the in-season game, that shit, woo! I feel like, I don't know what it is, but whatever this in-season thing is, it just like the whole intensity, you know what I mean, of playing in, like, I don't know if it's the different court or if it's how they matching up the rivalries, but the shit cracking.
The courts make you automatically feel like something's different. Like when you walk out there on that court, the court's different, jersey's different. You automatically like, oh, something's different. Like, and so it's like this aura around him, man. This aura in the gym. As soon as we walked in last night, we walked out, I should say, we ran up. Loon said, man, this feel like Oracle. I said, it do feel like Oracle. Like, it's just a different vibe around them in-season tournament games, bro. Or, excuse me, NBA Cup.
The NBA Cup.
These NBA Cup games, man. And we saw it last year. And, like, if you had any doubt that, like, oh, the first year, it was exciting, but it ain't. If you had any doubt, look no further than last night. The Detroit Pistons winning on the last second shot in overtime.
That was wild.
Us having to come back from down 7 with under 4 minutes to go and winning that game in regulation. The Boston Celtics losing to a Trae Young-less Atlanta Hawks team in Boston.
Right.
Like Portland destroyed Portland destroyed the Timberwolves, beat them by 14 points. These in-season tournament games is different, man.
You can't get caught.
And it's like an NCAA tournament. Because not that you won and done, but you feel like that because if you lose, once you lose, it's no longer in your control.
Right.
Right? Now, if you can win out, you control everything. But if you lose, you're at the mercy
of everybody else. Yeah,
exactly.
Of the system.
And man, and so it's crazy because it started off as like this whole thing of like, yo, we can go win 500,000. And it's crazy, BD. Nobody even mentions the money anymore.
Right.
It's just all about like, yo, we want to go win this thing.
Yeah,
like,
we want
to
that.
compete for this thing.
Yeah.
And I think the NBA has done an incredible job of creating this NBA Cup. And I think as fans, and when I say as fans, I am a fan of this game.
For sure.
As fans, we need to embrace this thing for what it is.
Big time.
It is an in-season championship.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Very much so. And by the way, it should be celebrated. It's something. See, it take people a while to come around because it's something so new that you like. That don't matter. But like the Lakers winning that last year, it should be celebrated. When you look at like basketball, the NBA is a global game. When you look at La Liga and even EuroLeague basketball, all these different cups, they
play
matter.
cups.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff matters. And so I'm hoping to see this continue to grow with fans, for fans to celebrate this. Is it going to be an NBA championship? No, it'll never be an NBA championship. He's going to take you the whole season.
But it matters.
But it matters, man.
It matters. It matters so much because, like, you think about, you don't get no rewards from training camp. You don't get no rewards from preseason. You don't get no rewards for start of the season. And everybody trying to play to be an all-star. You feel what I'm saying? So this kind of changed a lot of the mentality because now you got to be team-oriented. You look at a team like Indiana, right? Yes. They help them have that run in the playoffs. You know what I mean? That confidence. And so for a young team being able to snatch some wins, get and maybe even make it to the cup or to the Final Four, man, you know how like somebody like a Detroit and a Portland, you never know. They could get it's tricky times right now. You feel me? Anybody can get hot. I remember when I was playing, like the Houston Rockets won like 23 in a row and nobody was expecting that. But like, dude, if you get, you beat a Timberwolves, you beat a Miami Heat as one of, a Detroit or a Portland, you can get hot. You know what I mean? And like, especially for where you guys are right now, it's like this underdog mentality. It's like, man, I want that cup. If it's out there, you feel what I'm saying? If it's out there, bring it on.
It's an opportunity to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's how guys are looking at it, man. So, and just again, the fan in me, and just watching these NBA Cup games, I love that how it's at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
I think in January, February, or something like that, as this NBA Cup continue to become more and more successful,
Yep.
if they do like an intra-conference cups,
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
these Eastern Conference teams are playing in some type of cup for a few
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
Western Conference teams playing against each other in some type of cup for a few weeks.
Uh-huh.
Boom, then All-Star break happened. Once you come out of All-Star break, as you and I both know, now the eyes are set on the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
those
it.
January, February
Yep.
games, you know what I'm saying?
You
And
can fall.
Exactly. And that's a way
Yep.
you make those games more meaningful. That's a
Yes.
way to, I wouldn't necessarily say compete because it's just a such different thing, but that's a
It's
way
just so it's
to
just so
compete with
many
NFL
games.
at that time.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm
just
saying?
a
To
lot of
make them
games.
games more meaningful at that time.
Yeah.
I
You
think
need the NBA Cup, you need the in-season tournament, you need another cup, right? Because it's so many games. Like you gotta have different feeling and different emotion to like, up it a level. And man, the training camp preseason, first part of the season, like we see a lot of guys getting injured, and it's like the season has been accelerated so fast that when you jump into it, it's like, damn, dude, you may not be in the best shape, or like it take a while to get in basketball, NBA shape, game shape, and you gonna have these little knickknacks. And so something like this is just so important for the right team with the right mentality who got nothing to lose coming into the season. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that shit can propel you going into All-Star being like, damn, like all we got to do is win 20 out of 30 and we in,
Yeah.
And so it makes a big difference. I know y'all had the Mavericks for the NBA Cup game. That was the first one. The Grizzlies are next. Followed by the last two teams in the group, the Pelicans, who've been injured, and the Nuggets. With the Grizzlies up next, obviously is no Ja Morant. They have been balling. Like, what is your take on that? How do you adjust? Like, talk to us about how do you, okay, Ja Morant is out, right? That means nothing, correct?
It should mean nothing. But as you know, the only problem with it meaning nothing is we're human beings.
Yes.
And as human beings, we have natural human reactions.
Yep.
And so the natural reaction is Ja Morant's out, you put your guard down.
Yeah. Do not do that.
If you get in the boxing ring and you put your guard down, you get knocked out.
You're gonna get hit. Yes.
And so this Grizzlies team, we played them a couple years ago in the NBA playoffs. In the game Ja Morant missed, they beat us by 50.
Yeah, they smacked y'all.
They beat us they were up 50 points in the second quarter. It wasn't like, oh, the game got out of hand later. They were up 50 points in the second quarter,
yeah,
right?
I remember that one.
Because you naturally let your guard down, and this is the NBA, man. Santi Aldama is playing great basketball.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen Jr. is playing great basketball.
He's playing phenomenal basketball.
Jay Huff is playing great basketball, right? Tripp just getting back and starting to get his feet underneath him. You know, but these guys are playing great basketball. And so the challenge is, you naturally let your guard down. Okay, this is an in-season NBA Cup game. Got to lock in. You can focus on that, right? You can use that to lock in. The challenge is, though, Scottie Pippen Jr. has been really good. He's going to be even better because he's going to be even more free, right?
Exactly.
Santi Aldama's been really good. He's going to be even better because he's going to be more free. And so that three that you may be like, let me get this back to 12 and see what 12 can create. No, you just like, it's going up. No
you
thought.
Already know. Yeah, it's a different mentality. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're right. Ja Morant being out means nothing from the standpoint of we still need to come in with the mindset that we know we need to come in with, regardless of who they got on the floor. Whether Ja's out, Bane's out, Smart's out, whoever's out, our mindset need to be what our mindset has to be. And so it
Mhm.
doesn't mean nothing in that sense. But on the flip side, number one, I always love playing against Ja. When you play against Ja,
He be
he
talking
bring
that
out a
talk,
different level that you have to get to in order to match his intensity level, in order to match the swag that he coming with. He's gonna bring out a different level in the real competitors. And so I love playing Ja. And then also just seeing him get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched, we all watched him go through some stuff, and I know how it is when you go through stuff and everybody want to
Yep.
count you out and doubt you. So also, just from on a personal standpoint, just watch him get back, prove
Yeah.
everybody wrong, show everybody why he got the Nike sneaker, show everybody why he was the most exciting
man.
young guard that everybody was looking forward to a couple
He's that
years
guy.
ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you also just want to see that from that aspect. And then playing great games, man. Like, you want to play teams at full strength because as a competitor, you want to compete at the highest level that you can compete at. And so that's kind of where we at with it, But in saying that, who they put on the court is who we kind of play.
Yeah. You gotta be ready. Because them young boys, they like to eat. You know what I
They
mean?
do.
They like to eat. They don't care who on the floor. I like them. I think they well coached, and they got a hell of a lot of talent, and surprise talent to a lot of people. But, they got, when you're in the league, bro, you just need a chance. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need a chance. You know what I'm saying?
In the right situation.
In the right situation. That could turn your whole career around.
100%.
Yeah.
And speaking of a Ja, who was the guy, like when you were coming through, that most reminded you of Ja?
I say Ja is a combination of Allen Iverson and Vince Carter. You feel what I'm
Wow,
saying?
VC is crazy.
Yeah,
But it's
just like
true.
if Allen Iverson jumped like Ja Morant, dog, that'd have been crazy. You know what I mean? Allen Iverson was the dude, when you knew you was playing him, it was no matter where you were in Philly, Charlotte, Cleveland, the gym is hot. Like when it feel like the fog and all that, man, that's how Allen Iverson, that's the type of energy that he brought. You know what I mean? The intensity, he never talked shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He talked, but he never talked shit. He never talked shit to nobody, disrespected nobody. He was just all about his team or, on the ref. So, it was just like, when I knew I was playing against Iverson, it was like, man, fuck that. You know what I mean? I gotta get mine off too. You feel me? Like him, Marbury was like that, because coming into the league, it's like, all right, you gotta play defense and you gotta pass the ball as a point guard, and they just running up the score. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like Iverson, Marbury was a lot like that. And then I say Steve Nash. Like Steve Nash had a certain type of swag and type of energy. But the dude you couldn't sleep on was Tony Parker.
Oh.
Because he was gonna bust your ass regardless. Hey, bro, he was gonna
26
Tony Parker, people don't give him enough credit. Hey, bro, he kills everybody. He done killed everybody. It ain't nobody that can look at Tony Parker and say, hey, bro, I ate you up. You know what I mean? Or like, I destroyed you. Nah, Tony Parker, no way, baby. He want all fades. Tony Parker was probably one of the most underrated point guards of all time.
Tony Parker was nice. I actually got the chance to play against Tony when he was still moving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tony Parker come downhill at you.
Hey, bro,
and then he do that spin move, you crush. He moving fast as hell. Then he hit you with that spin and still on balance, still going towards the rim, you dead.
Bro, I watched Tony Parker film all summer when he led the league in points in the paint. I was like, how the fuck is he doing this, dog? Like, how is he getting to the front of the rim? He getting layups.
Hey, BD, He leading the league in points to the paint. Help these people understand. This is at the time where the NBA got real big.
Yeah.
Like, this
This
is
was
Shaquille
Rasheed
O'Neal.
Wallace.
Like,
Right.
Ben
Ben
these are
Wallace.
real bigs,
Yeah,
man.
you had to have a big dude. Jamal McGlure. You know what I mean? And dudes that will hurt you. You know what I mean? Like you ain't going, like I wasn't going in the paint trying to just dunk on people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Tony Parker and what's his name? Tariq Evans. I never knew.
Yeah.
I would watch them and be like, damn, dude, how are they getting to the front of the rim so easy? It's nuts. It was crazy. So shout out to Tony Parker. That's he like that. He got that type of intensity that Ja, you know what I mean? It's the same type of shit Ja got, and it's like this chip on. It's like a killer chip on your shoulder, where it's like, bro, if you don't knock that chip off his shoulder, he gonna keep punching on you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. No, shout out to TP, man. One of the GOATs. This episode is sponsored by Game Time Ticketing app. The start of the NBA season is underway, and you don't want to miss the hype atmosphere watching a basketball game live.
Energy of the fans at the beginning of the season is incredible, and Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. And it filters out of the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
I like using the Game Time app when I want to attend a concert or comedy show. Game Time Ticketing app is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. I really like the all-in pricing because it shows how much I'm going to have to pay.
I'm looking at the Game Time app right now, and it's easy to find different tickets and different price points. The NBA season is beginning, and I know your favorite team is going to need your support.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GREEN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code GREEN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Let's get into this Form 1 road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just finished.
That was a
big win in OKC. I don't like to say which win was the best, but which win was like, ooh, we got this one.
Boston.
Absolutely.
And it has to be Boston because we beat them in a championship on that floor. When you walk into these arenas that you won a championship at, you automatically go back to that vibe. Oh man, it's this place. Like, I feel good in this place. You know what I'm saying? And so going in that place, they're playing great. One loss. They got us coming in. And it's the setup is there.
Cracking.
You know what I'm saying? And we start the road trip off 2-0 and then headed into Boston. Everybody like, oh, they start the road trip off 2-0, but now the road trip get tough. And then we go in there and like we pretty much controlled that game the whole game. Like
the whole game.
And to go in there and do that, and obviously they're without JB, and KP. But you can only play who they put on the floor.
Yeah.
And so to go in and send that message, like we still here. And I'm gonna tell you, it's even a little more emphasis on it, and here's why. Last year we did the whole shooting thing with Jaylen Brown, and I felt like we kind of let the wrath off of them. Like I feel like we propelled them a bit when we did that. The confidence of that team after that just went through the roof, And so to then come back and go back in that place that we did that and lock up like we did and play the game we did.
Yep.
That made that one feel like it was the one, and then going into OKC.
That's the one to get. You know what I mean? It's like you looking at 5 games, you're like, damn, dude. That's that Boston game. If we can be 2-0 going into Boston, we got a chance. Right. And the way y'all came out, it was like, y'all just been focused, man. Y'all just been so focused. You know what I mean? Like the Boston game was great. There was a moment where, Kerr and Steph kind of got into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we starting to see, you know, kind of like the nostalgia of, I wouldn't say I didn't care in the past, but it was like, it was so much other shit that now
Yeah.
like the intensity is on the game. Talk about like that moment with Steph and Kerr, and like how, you know, when shit like that happened, like how do you guys, or for the fans, like talk about reacting, you know, the reaction to that.
So for us, I always, you know, like I pay attention to all that stuff. And so for us, when I saw it, I just go to Steph and reassure him, like, yeah, we good. Like, fuck that. Like, let's move on. Like,
Yeah.
just to make sure his head stay in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Because people respond to things differently. You know what I'm saying? And you never know what response you're going to get. And so I immediately go to him like, man, fuck that. We good. Like, let's keep it pushing. And now, again, and I always try to tell guys, when you are one of the top dogs on the team, the job goes far beyond just going out there and playing a good basketball game.
Yeah.
There's so, as you know, there's so many more things that you have to deal with.
Yep.
You know, when you going through this stuff. And so I'm immediately watching that and I see it. And I'm watching Steph's reaction and how he respond to it. Because if he respond negatively, and when I say negatively, I don't mean arguing. I mean respond
in his eye.
negatively, like his play. You know what I'm saying? His
Yeah.
demeanor. If he responds negatively, I've already told myself, like, I need to go talk to coach and make sure coach understand the reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make sure coach understand, hey, Steph ain't respond great to you yelling at him like that.
Yeah.
Let's just keep an eye on that. So that's already my mindset. Because again, you have to keep an eye on all of these things. You have to know what make your guys tick and what makes and what makes them not. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I'm watching that like a hawk. In turn, I'm then watching the post-game press conferences. And Steph like, nah, I want to be coached like everybody else. That statement lines up with the way you continue to play after you and Steve had your moment. So cool. I wash my hands and I'm on to the next thing, you know, but it's those types of things that when you're trying to compete at a high level, when you're trying to win championships, it's those types of things you can let slide by. And you look up later on down the road and you like, man, where did we go wrong? And you don't pay attention to those types of moments. You know what I'm saying? And so I pay attention to all of that little stuff, because when you're trying to do something special, those little things add up.
It's the little things that matter.
You know what I'm saying? And so that moment was huge, because what it also did was, and no one has a problem with that on this team, but again, when you see Steph Curry get cussed out like that, and he just like, man, like, but no real reaction, just like, and then Steve come at you, you gotta shut the hell up.
For sure.
Like, you have no choice but to shut the hell up. And it sends a message to everyone. And more importantly, who else it sends a message to, which I think is even more important than sending a message to players. It sends a message to the rest of the coaches. Coach.
Yep. Get it up. Get your coaching up.
Like Stack, hey man, I'm telling you, man, Stackhouse to this.
Hey man, y'all got Stackhouse Stouts over there. He an offensive mastermind. Hey bro, y'all got some dogs over there.
Hey, when what the additions that they've made this coaching staff, Stotts, like you said, he's an offensive mastermind, and it's his offense. As you know, I live on that defensive side of the ball, and what Stack has done with his defense.
Oh man, it's been crazy.
Hey, and what he has done with his defense make me say, that ain't Draymond's defense. That's Stack's defense, and I'm going to be a part of Stack's defense.
Yeah.
What he has done there, the point of emphasis he's put on that side of the floor, the mentality that he's made us have on that side of the floor, what he come every day locked in, and he like, oh, we watch the film, Steph said something yesterday. He was like, "Oh, Stack, well, right there, I was thinking this, so I had to do this." Stack was like, "Oh, tell me. Next time, tell me that, because I definitely dinged your ass on them grades for that." I dinged you. So
Yeah.
next time, make sure you just share that with me, that's what you was thinking and that's what happened, because I for sure dinged your ass. And Steph was like, "Yeah, I saw it at this time on my sheet." Like,
I love that, dude.
But it's just a different accountability level. Like,
Yep.
man, I get them grades. We get a notification. We work on this app with our team, and we get these notification grades out, man. As soon as I get that notification, I need to see my grade. And last night, my grade was high as hell.
It had to be.
I think I need to go back and check the grades, but I'm almost certain it was the highest grade of anyone on the
Come on.
season.
Hey, Stack, I need to get one of these grade sheets. Add me to the list, Stack. Put me on the text notification. I need to see that. It's so great to hear. I mean, you see the results, but when you buy in to a defensive philosophy and you got a coach that's back there engineering it, and then also you got a grade like that, we live on goals. You know what I mean? Like, we live on success. We are fighting and chasing perfection every time we come on that court. And so to have that accountability, that structure, but also that trust, right? Like you were saying with Steph and wanting to be coach and coaches wanting to coach, is really, it's that trust, right? It's being able to nip all the little things that could be deterrents, right? And every time it's nipped or every time it's fixed and solved, it builds greater trust. You know what I mean?
For sure. 100%.
And that's why I like, on the defensive end, like, you guys are gritty, you smart, and you're not worried about if there is a misassignment, like who did something. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, like, oh shit, I damn, I'm switched out on the wrong person. Y'all don't look at it like that. Everybody takes the challenge, everybody has support, and that's what you need, to really be
100%.
a winning team. Cause like the deflections, like, y'all not tall, y'all not super athletic, you know what I mean? It's like the deflections, the over the back calls from boxing out, right? Just all the little things that the block shots, right? The steals, all those things measure up, right? And if those are held at high esteem, I remember it used to be deflections. Or for me, like when I led the league in steals, my coach taught me how to do it. He said, just pick the dude up, like right before half court. Soon as they get to half court, jump their ass because they can't go back.
Yeah.
So I was getting all kind of turnovers and steals, because as soon as somebody come across half court, first thing they do, they relax, get ready to call a play. And then I was on them. You know what I mean? And so, like, them little goals are like them little bitty things getting fixed, like that creates that trust. You know what I mean? Talk about y'all trust, when y'all out there.
I think the trust is coming from, the coaching staff is being willing to earn that trust. You know what I'm saying? They ain't walking in like, all right, we the coaches and y'all do X.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They walking in trying to earn that trust. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Stack, again, I keep going back to Stack in the defense. Every time some start going wrong and we like, yo, we need to get out this cover. Stack like, this is what we doing. This is who we are. Do this. And so when you stand on something like that, everyone else has no choice but to believe and trust in it, because you standing on it so tough. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think Stack's also doing a good job of like standing so tough on it initially, but now starting to be like, all right, cool, y'all seeing this change? Well, let's change this. Let's tweak this thing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas initially he like, nah, this is what we doing, and just do it. And I actually like that mentality, because what it showed is like, I believe in this. I think this is what's going to give us the best chance to win. So let's try to be great at this thing. Now we can start to make adjustments, right? You like 11 games into the season, you're starting to figure out and build an identity. You can start to adjust some things when you need to, when you see fit.
Totally.
But first, you have to build a base. And I think, the coaching staff has been willing to build that base.
Yeah.
And in turn, when you see guys who've been through it, who know what it looks like, trusting in it and doing all of that, it creates for a different opportunity and for a different situation. And I feel like that's where we at right now. TNT Sports on True TV is here, and it's bringing you action for some of your favorite leagues, including live games and events from NHL, MLB, U.S. Soccer, and more. There's also a new slate of original shows and podcasts, like The Steam Room with EJ and Chuck, and Above the Fold with Jamel Hill. TNT Sports is taking over primetime, making it your new destination for sports moments. Watch every night starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on True TV. Man, let's move around the league a little bit, BD. As of Wednesday, Cleveland Cavaliers are the only undefeated team in the league. After playing against them this past Friday, I personally believe that they have a chance to get to the conference finals in the East.
Okay.
If you can get past Boston, that's on you, right? Like, give yourself a
Boston
chance.
Is still your front runner out the East, huh?
Absolutely, no question. But I think these Cleveland Cavaliers are serious, and I'm gonna tell you why I think they're serious. That ball humming so crazy, BD, my head was on goddamn spinning. They was moving that ball so fast.
Yep.
I was like, whoa, oh man. I went to help. Oh, this dude just replaced 3. Like, he just, I'm like, he relocated. Oh my God. Like, they moving the ball so crazy. They got bigs.
Yep.
Which in turn allows their guards who's smaller to just funnel you to their bigs, right?
Yep.
So like Donovan Mitchell, not a great defender. DG, not a great defender. But if I can funnel you to Evan Mobley and Jared Allen,
oh, come on,
all
dude.
I got to do is not be a screen magnet and chase over the screen and force you to drive, right? Makes a difference. Kenny Atkinson, what he's brought to that team, the mindset that he's brought to that team, you see it in Darius Garland. Darius Garland is playing at an all-star level, an NBA starter all-star level.
Yep.
Right? Again, you see that in Kenny. Evan Mobley.
Crazy.
The way Evan Mobley is playing is what you thought Evan Mobley would be coming out of college. He has not been that. He's shown you he's worthy of being viewed as possible to become that. He's now becoming it.
Yep.
And man, them boys playing some basketball. You got Okoro hitting shots now. If Okoro is the only guy you can help off of, and he hitting shots,
you done. Yeah,
good riddance. You know what I'm saying?
So
I think this team, they got something there. And Strus ain't playing. They got depth, right? Like Ty Jerome balling off the bench. George Niang, we know he shoots that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Karis LeVert coming off the bench. Max Strus is out. Like, they got depth. I'm telling you, man, I like that team.
I like that team. I like the fact that they have energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before, when they played, it was like depending on Donovan Mitchell energy or depending on Darius energy, and there was no connective energy. These dudes they are like connected tissue out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Evan Mobley, I say glue, right? Like a super glue. Like, he's starting to become like their super glue guy. Obviously, Allen, he's super talented and, just defensively smart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the way Darius Garland is playing in complement with Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
In complement, with Niang and the other dudes, like they're playing both like league guards, and they're taking the challenge to be that, you know what I mean, together, as opposed to like, oh, I got it this game, exactly. Oh, he's going that. Like, they are figuring it out together, which is very critical. You know what I mean? For them to be to get to that next level. And to your point, when I saw the game against you guys, I was like, all right, well, this ain't really a real testament, you know what I mean, to what the score was, but these dudes are really good. You know what I mean?
Really good.
Yeah. So in a real game, it's going to be a really good game because they got so many offensive weapons. They got breakdown players. They got shooters. They got guys who can play ISO one-on-one. And so I think they're dangerous because outside of a lot of teams, they have more guys who can, if they have the ball with 5 seconds and they got the ball in their hand, they can get their shot off.
Absolutely.
Like when you look at a lot of different teams, you go through New York, you go through Philly, you go even Boston, right? Like you can't throw the ball to anybody on Boston and expect him to get a shot with 5 seconds. Is going back to Jaylen Brown, is going back to Tatum. But these dudes, they got a few dudes who can wiggle and get their own money.
And it changes things. It changes your defensive game plan when you got that many guys that can get to it.
You don't think Philly can beat
Philly? It's over for Philly. It's over for Philly. It's over for Philly before it even starts. And by the way, when you have the amount of talent that Philly has, you can always put some stuff together.
Yeah.
But when the public take over the narrative of your team, it's hard.
It's super hard.
It's hard because now it ain't just about the game. Now you're dealing with all of these other things that
you depress. It's a depressed energy. Yeah,
absolutely. They in a tough spot, man. They in a tough spot because now everything Joel do, everything he say is gonna be picked apart. Like, and it just makes everything that much tougher. So now then you ask yourself the question. None of those guys, and I repeat, none of them, except Kyle Lowry, has ever done it. Yeah. And so if you've never done it and you got to deal with these things to try to do it, it's one thing if you won a championship and like, all right, we won a championship, and because we've won a championship, we now know that this is coming with it because of that, right? Like, but they got to deal with stuff and they ain't won no championship. So you don't know how to win a championship. And now you got to deal with all the extracurriculars and extra things that ends up coming with a team in the spotlight that's won a championship. And y'all don't even know how to do it. And you got to do it with that weight on your shoulder? Man, that's hard, man. It's hard to do when you know how to do it.
Right.
It's hard to do when you know how to do it. Who?
They are the desperate housewives of basketball. They got so much drama going on. It's like, God damn, you got, and then you look at Kyle Lowry. He did it. You know what I mean? He trying to bring a championship pedigree. He probably, older. They got young guards. These dudes are way different than how Kyle Lowry came into the league, the dues he had to pay, you know what I mean, to even be a brand and to have a name, and so they got to, you look at Tyrese Maxey, he's out, but he's like, to me, he could be a superstar. Paul George, in and out, hurt. Embiid, in and out, hurt. They got so many injuries, but to your point, it ain't even that because they could just be off to a slow start. It's the energy of the media, of what's going on with Joel, of, I don't play back-to-backs. Oh, I'm just trolling. All that shit is just unfocused energy. They have the most unfocused energy, and I would say like cloud around them, right? To where it's like, okay, we're going to turn the Philadelphia 76ers into this year's Desperate Housewives. This is where all the drama is going to exist. We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? And so, like, we're not talking about Philly about hooping.
Yeah.
Right now.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? There's nothing coming out of Philly about hoop.
And by the way, I'm going to tell you something about that, B. That's a great point you make. I went through that last year.
Yep.
But nothing about me. And it became this team was about basketball. It was
Totally.
about all the other shit. It's impossible to win that way.
It is.
It is impossible.
It's a depression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like I'm watching y'all last year and I'm watching you last year, and it's like y'all trying to get out of a funk, but your frustration, anytime you get to the cusp of doing something like, oh shit, I got triggered. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, that ain't even you. You know what I mean? The cloud. It's the cloud. You know what I mean? It's those little whispers, those secrets. The same thing you said was when Kerr say something to Steph or somebody rolling their eyes. Nobody's picking up on that because that cloud is hanging. So they can't huddle and be like, come on, guys, like forget what everybody else is saying. This is about us. Let's be as real and as honest as we can so we can go be the best on the court. You know what I mean?
100%.
But they don't have a message. They don't have a message. They don't have a slogan. Like what the hell is the like what's the theme for the season with Philly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't know. That's a fact. So you're saying Philly need to press the panic button, correct?
Absolutely.
New York Knicks, do they need to press the panic button or will they be fine?
They're gonna be fine.
Okay. And
the Knicks is my squad, bro. The Knicks is my squad.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think the problem with the Knicks, here's my issue with the Knicks. You went out and got Karl Anthony Towns, right? It's a non-difference in Julius Randle.
Mm-hmm.
You figured out the best way you played Thibodeau basketball was without Julius Randle.
Yeah. Yeah.
One
who
big.
has not been good in Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah, who's been trying to figure his space out.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to know, like, Karl Anthony Towns coming to New York does not guarantee anything. Julius Randle going to Minnesota does not guarantee anything. These men have to move their families, move into the city, just like you said, do all this media, and then figure out, like, what happened to me? And then not only that, who am I? Who am I on this team? How do I fit into the offense, the defense? Like, it's going to be a learning process for New York and Cat. You can have some high moments, some low moments, but I think he has to adjust, and Thibodeau got to adjust into figuring out, like, the Julius Randle shit didn't work. That's why I got rid of him. So if you got Cat over here, like, you got to figure out how to play scrappy, play fast, and best mobilize Cat, because he a better weapon for you than Julius Randle if you use him right.
100%. Well, I think it's even less about Julius Randle, though, and more about other guys. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson's out.
He's out.
They lost Hardenstein. Hardenstein is with Oklahoma City. Neither one of those guys can walk on the same pavement that Cat can walk on as a basketball player. I get that. But fit is everything. And what someone brings to a team is everything. And where the Knicks is going to struggle more, I think, with Cat than, say, last year. They snuck up on people last year. Nobody thought they was going to. Now you're expected to be good. That's a different thing. But also, where I think with Cat, you're worse defensively for sure. And Jalen Brunson isn't a great defender. So now what ends up happening is it's not so much that it's like, oh, well, Cat isn't as good of a defender as Hardenstein or as a Mitchell Robinson. We get that, but it'll be fine. It's not totally and solely that, more so than you had one non-defender on the court out of 5. Now you got 2 non-defenders out of 5. You know what I'm saying? And when you start adding, I won't even say adding, when you start compiling non-defenders into one lineup, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. When you got to hide one guy, it's doable. When you got to hide 2 guys and 3 guys, it's impossible.
They're your best players.
Exactly. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
I think that's where the biggest struggle will be for this New York team is it's going to require OG, Michael,
Yep.
and Josh Hart. It's going to require them to be so good and fly around so much and try to cover so many things defensively that then you also then have to, once they have to do that, you then have to make sure that Jaylen and Cat's attitude towards the defensive end.
Yeah, they gotta accept. They gotta take that challenge, bro.
Not only do they have to take the challenge, but their attitude towards it can't be like, whatever on that end. Because if it is that way, the guys that are doing all of the work on that side of the ball are gonna be like, man, fuck this guy. Like, he don't want to give me none on this. And then you start to have these clashes and stuff. And so those are all just the little games within the game that people don't understand, that you must know all of those things make a difference.
All right, Dre. I gotta come with a little social media. What's trending in social media? Jaylen Brown called Giannis a child after the Bucks Celtics game. Basically, Giannis elbowed Jaylen. I don't know if you saw it in the face. And then Giannis faked the handshake.
Giannis a big ass kid for real, man. And I'm not saying it. I mean, just by when you look at that, when you look at the video of Damian Lillard giving them the shoes, like most people that are with Nike would be like, I ain't getting to that. Like, he's a signature athlete with Nike. Free shoes is free shoes. Like,
he's having the best time,
big
dude.
Ass kid. Now, and I say that, I don't say that in a way like Jaylen was pissed. Right? Like, so he calling him a child, like, man, like, I say that in a way of like Bron, for instance. Bron is a big ass kid. Like, and people don't realize he's a big ass kid. Giannis, to me, he always give you the super serious and like, but like, to me, it seemed like he is a big ass kid. And honestly, when you are that type of force, you kind of need some of that for guys to be cool following you because they need something to relate to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was my takeaway from it. I thought it was wild to hit him with the...
Hey, bro, that was, oh my God.
But
what?
To me, it seemed like a joke. I didn't take it as like.
But he just cracked you, like, dog, what if he cracked you in the face with an elbow? And he was like, all right, it's cool, Dre. Nah, it ain't cool. Oh, you would have been hot. Hey, dog, you would have been hot.
Yeah, I would. I also get my elbows back.
You would have. You would have definitely elbowed him and did the same thing, help him up off the ground and do the same. Come on, man. It's fun though. I like this era, bro, because I like what, like this era is like they're hella playful. You know what I mean? Like, but it's also like some seriousness to it, and it can start rivalries and beefs.
Yeah.
The littlest thing. You know what I mean? Like, Jaylen Brown wasn't playing, but Giannis wasn't playing, but Giannis don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they compete and they don't like each other, so it should just raise the intensity level, right? You hearing dudes talk smack over Twitter and social media and in interviews. I like the podcast because they be getting shit off their chest, but it also be setting them up for like, okay, you're gonna have to see that dude again.
You damn right.
What is he gonna be? You feel what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to Giannis. I love Giannis, man. He's one of my son's favorite players. And he is like the nicest dude in the world. You know what I mean? He's like one of the nicest dudes in the world. But I like it because it's like, man, I elbowed you and I'm about to leave you hanging. So my teammates know, like, it ain't good. Like I'm sorry, but I ain't sorry.
But I ain't sorry. Like, I ain't trying to take you out, but I ain't really sorry, bro. And we're really not cool.
Yeah. It's like, are you okay? All right, cool. You straight? All right, cool.
Oh, man. Right. No, I rock with it, man. Like I said, I rock Giannis' personality. I think it's great that he shows his personality. That's a part of becoming a superstar, which was one of my points about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have to give people something else other than just being a great basketball player that they can connect to. And that is how you move in the superstar.
That's how you move the needle.
Shout out to Giannis, man. He better figure it out over there because his coach about to be
Jaylen
out
Brown,
there.
He coming for you, Giannis.
He about to be on his second coach in a matter of 6 months if they don't figure it out fast.
Don't buy insurance from Doc Rivers, bro.
They better figure it out fast because I tell you what, if they don't win some games here soon, they will be paying 3 coaches 4 because they still paying Bud. They still paying Adrian Griffin. Doc. And soon they'll be still paying Doc and paying somebody else if they don't figure it out fast.
They should just bring me in there to just sit down and monitor and be like, man, this shit ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Let me talk to the guys. Like, come on, dude. You got players like that and you trying to coach them. And what I mean, Dre, you know what I mean? Like, you coaching is putting your best players in a position to be the best players. And everyone else who has a superpower to be in a position to be a superstar and realize and maximize their superpowers.
100%.
It's not about your coaching. And that's what
orchestrator.
Milwaukee is going through. They're just going through an identity crisis. It's like, I don't know how to be Giannis. I don't know how to be Dame. And I damn sure don't know how to be a Milwaukee Buck right now.
That's a fact.
You know,
that is a fact, my brother. That is a wrap from this episode of the Draymond Green Show with my dog, BD. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you check this out. Subscribe where you get your podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate you. We love you. Till next time, that's a wrap.
The Draymond Green Show. Check us out.